Hi, Reverend Paula Zabkar here with Soul Session. I've been reminded by others, and I'm reminded by my own life, of how often we look for outside appreciation. We look for outside of us, someone to notice us, notice what we do, notice how we do it, notice how well we do it, and not just notice that, but let us know as well. We are caught up in that, aren't we? We like to hear that we're doing okay. And every once in a while, though, I think you might notice, if you look back on your life, you actually do something that is opposite of that, where you felt confident enough and in the moment enough to not require this outside accolade or this outside appreciation. It happened to me a while back. I hope it's happened in the meantime, but this is an example that stands out. A friend of mine's husband was in hospice. And I used to go to hospice quite a bit, of course, before the pandemic, before COVID was here, and visit with people. And I'm a hospice trained volunteer, as well as Renee is a hospice trained volunteer and used to take our dog Davy there. So very familiar with hospice. And one afternoon I showed up and I walked into the room, and no one was there. And her husband was on the bed. He was unconscious. And so I just decided to sit for a while, and I got comfortable in a chair. I sidled up to his bedside and I held his hand. A nurse came in and checked and asked if I needed anything, but I was just comfortable being there, comfortable being with someone on this part of their journey. And I sat there for a while. I don't know, it was probably close to an hour, and imagined his journey and imagined him. And I didn't know him well at all. Maybe I met him once. I knew his wife quite well, and no one came during that time, and I was able to have that time to myself with him. Well, I found out much later, when I talked to his wife, that he had passed away not long after I was there. And I was so grateful for my own wisdom that came up in me to be able to be with him during that time. And she didn't know I was there, and she said to me, "But you know what, there was someone there with him. The nurses told me, but I have no idea who it was." And I mentioned to her that it was me and that I was there, and she was so grateful. But I'll tell you what, I really didn't need that so much, because even before I'd learned that, I was so satisfied that he and I, in this quiet solitude, were able to spend that time together, and I felt good. And I felt good because I felt like I knew that that's where I wanted to be, and it felt good being there. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes our intention is simply to be in the moment, and it doesn't matter if anybody sees us or recognizes us. In the end, in this situation, I ended up being recognized, and yes, that always feels good, but it felt good before then, and that's the barometer. That's how we can measure this idea of how insistent we are inside of ourselves for needing that attention, needing that stamp of approval, needing that appreciation being bestowed on us. Because we can live a meaningful life without all that. We can live that by deciding for ourselves what's important and what matters, and then doing that and letting that be enough, and letting us be enough, letting ourselves be enough wherever that lands. I hope this has been meaningful for you. I hope you have a good week as well. Amen.